Here you are, sir.
Thanks. Baruch atah. Yeah, let's do this.
Welcome to the Four Seasons, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
The Four Seasons lobby gleams with morning light. Catherine Sterling stands near the windows in her pressed Chanel suit, laughing with two German investors. A man with brown skin and a warm smile approaches, carrying a leather portfolio. The same one his father saved for months to buy him when he got into MIT. Ms. Sterling, Arjun Mehta. We have a 9 o'clock meeting about the Series C investment. He extends his hand, the way his mother taught him. Always with respect, Beta. Always with dignity. Catherine stares at his outstretched hand like it's contaminated. She takes a step back, keeping both hands in her pockets. Excuse me, who let you in here? Her voice drips with disgust. The German investors stop talking. This is a private meeting for serious investors, not for people like you. She looks him up and down, her eyes lingering on his brown skin, hearing the slight musicality in his accent, the remnants of Hindi rhythms he can never quite erase. Security, get this man out of here before I call the police. Arjun lowers his hand slowly. His heart pounds, but his face stays calm. 26 years of practice. Ms. Sterling, if you'd just check. I said get out now before I have you arrested for trespassing. Two security guards rush over. Phones emerge from purses. Someone starts recording. Within minutes, Arjun walks out, head high. The same way he walked out of that Boston restaurant when they told 12-year-old him the delivery entrance was in the back. The same way he walked past the MIT students who asked if he was lost on his first day. Head high. Always head high. His father's voice echoes in his mind. They can take many things from you, Beta. But they cannot take your dignity unless you give it to them. Catherine turns back to her guests, brushing imaginary dirt from her sleeve. She has no idea she just destroyed the only investor willing to save her dying company. And she has no idea that the man she just humiliated spent last night on the phone with his elderly mother, promising her he'd be careful, that America was different now, that people would see him for who he is. He was wrong. 3 months earlier, Sterling Technologies was worth $800 million. Today, the number on the balance sheet makes Catherine's hands shake every time she looks at it. The company burns through $8 million every month. The bank account holds enough cash for 11 more weeks. After that, bankruptcy. Catherine sits in her corner office on the 42nd floor. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, San Francisco Bay stretches blue and indifferent. She's made this view her entire identity. Stanford MBA. Fortune 40 under 40. TechCrunch's most promising founder 2 years running. Her father built a banking empire in the 80s. Her mother sits on 4 boards. Catherine grew up in Pacific Heights, summered in the Hamptons, never once worried about money, until now. She pitched to 23 investors in 8 months. Every single one said no. Too arrogant. One wrote in an email that got leaked. Doesn't listen to feedback, said another. Red flags about company culture, said a third. Catherine deleted those emails. She told herself they didn't understand vision. But the cash keeps draining, and there's only one name left on her list. Across the country, in a penthouse apartment overlooking Manhattan, Arjun Mehta stands at the window, watching the sun rise over the city that once terrified him. The apartment is minimalist. White walls, clean lines, a wall of screens showing global markets in real time. But on the bookshelf sits a faded photograph in a simple wooden frame. A young couple standing in front of a tiny apartment in Queens, their faces full of hope and exhaustion. His parents, 1997. Arjun picks up the photo. He does this every morning, a ritual, a reminder. His mother Priya is still in her nurse's scrubs from the night shift. His father Rajesh has his arm around her, still wearing the white shirt he drove his taxi in for 16 hours straight. Between them, clutching both their hands, is 12-year-old Arjun, drowning in a donated winter coat 3 sizes too big. He remembers that day. The photographer was from a community center offering free family portraits. It was the only professional photo they'd ever had. His mother cried afterward, not from sadness, but because she finally had proof they existed. Proof they mattered. Arjun sets the photo down gently, touches his fingers to it. I'm doing it, Amma. Just like you said I would. He pours his morning coffee. His hands are steady now, but they weren't always. Mumbai, 1995. 10-year-old Arjun sat in his grandfather's apartment, a single room that housed 8 people. The monsoon rain hammered the tin roof. Water dripped through holes they'd tried to patch with plastic. His mother knelt in front of him, holding both his small hands in hers. Beta, listen to me. Your papa and I are going to America. We will work very hard. We will save money. And in 2 years, we will bring you to us. 10-year-old Arjun's lip trembled. I don't want you to go. I know, my John. I know. Priya's voice cracked. But in America, you can go to school. Real school, not just 3 hours a day. You can become anything. An engineer. A doctor. Anything you dream. His father Rajesh crouched down too, his rough taxi driver hands cupping Arjun's tear-stained face. You are so smart, Beta. Too smart for this. He gestured at the leaking ceiling, the cracked walls. In America, smart boys like you can change their stars. I'm scared, Arjun whispered. Me too, his father admitted. Every day I'm scared. But you know what's more frightening? Watching you settle for less than you deserve because we couldn't give you a chance. New York, 1997. 12-year-old Arjun stepped off the plane at JFK, holding his grandmother's hand. He wore his only good shirt, the blue one his mother had sent from America, still crisp with newness. His parents were waiting at arrivals. When Arjun saw them, he didn't recognize them at first. His mother had lost weight. She looked exhausted, older. His father's hands were calloused and scarred from steering a taxi wheel for endless hours. But when they saw him, they lit up. Priya dropped to her knees right there in the airport, crushing him to her chest, sobbing. My baby. My Beta. You're here. You're finally here. Rajesh wrapped his arms around both of them, tears streaming down his face. Welcome to America, son. Welcome home. Queens, 1997 to 2005. The apartment was a one-bedroom in Jackson Heights that they shared with 2 other families. 6 adults, 3 children, 1 bathroom. Arjun slept on a mattress on the floor next to his parents. He could hear everything. The other families arguing, babies crying, his mother sobbing quietly when she thought he was asleep because a patient had called her a racial slur at the hospital. He heard his father come home at 3 in the morning, groaning as he lowered himself onto the mattress, his back destroyed from sitting in the driver's seat for 18 hours. Priya, his father whispered one night. I picked up a fare today. Wall Street banker. Young guy, maybe 25. He made more in 1 day than I make in a year. Arjun kept his eyes closed, pretending to sleep. And you know what he said to me? He said, you people should learn to drive. You're holding up traffic. Rajesh's voice cracked. I have been driving for 20 years. I have never had an accident. But to him, I'm just you people. His mother took his father's hand. Rajesh, our son is going to MIT. We don't have money for. He got a full scholarship. I saw the letter today. Full ride. Everything paid. Silence. Then the sound of his father crying. Deep, shaking sobs of relief and pride. Our boy, Rajesh whispered. Our brilliant boy. Arjun opened his eyes in the dark. Made a silent promise. I will make it worth it. I will make everything you sacrificed worth it. Mit 2005. 18-year-old Arjun stood in his dorm room, unpacking the single suitcase his parents had scraped together money to buy. His roommate, a white kid from Connecticut named Brad, walked in, took one look at Arjun, and said, Oh, I thought my roommate was supposed to be American. I am American, Arjun said quietly. You know what I mean. Arjun knew exactly what he meant. The first month was brutal. Professors mispronounced his name. Students asked where he was really from. Someone left a note on his door. Go back to your own country. He called his mother crying. Amma, I don't belong here. They all think I'm just. Beta. His mother's voice was steel. Do you know what I did today? I cleaned vomit from a hospital floor while a doctor's wife clutched her purse when I walked by. Your papa drove 23 hours straight and made $140. We do this for you, so you can belong anywhere. But they don't see me. Then make them see you. Not with anger. Not with bitterness. With brilliance. You are Arjun Mehta, son of Rajesh and Priya. You carry our dreams. Now go carry yours. He wiped his tears. Went back to his computer science assignment. Worked until dawn. By sophomore year, he had the highest GPA in his class. By junior year, professors were asking him to collaborate on research. By senior year, he'd built the algorithm that would change his life. Manhattan, 2025. Present day. 38-year-old Arjun stands in his penthouse, that old photograph still in his hand. His father died 3 years ago. Heart attack in his taxi at age 61. He never stopped driving, even after Arjun became successful. It's honest work, he'd say. It brought me to America. It gave me you. His mother lives in a house Arjun bought her in Edison, New Jersey. She volunteers at the community center where they once got that free family photo. She teaches immigrant children English. Last week, Arjun visited her. Found her in the kitchen making chai, the smell of cardamom and ginger filling the air, the smell of home. Amma, I have a big meeting in San Francisco tomorrow. Maybe the biggest of my career. His mother stirred the pot, not looking at him. Beta, you have had many big meetings. This one's different. It's a company that needs saving. 3,000 jobs. Families depending on it. Now she looked at him, her eyes, the same warm brown as his, studying his face. And you will save them? If they'll let me. She cupped his face in her hands, hands that had cleaned hospital floors and changed bedpans and sacrificed everything. They will be lucky to have you. But if they are not wise enough to see it. She paused. You are still my son. Still brilliant. Still worthy. Whether they see it or not. Arjun hugged her tight. Breathed in the smell of chai and soap and unconditional love. I love you, Amma. I love you more, Beta. Come back safe. Now, standing in his Manhattan apartment, Arjun checks his watch. Time to leave for the airport. This morning, his video screen shows 3 faces, his analyst Maya, his CFO James, and his assistant Priya, named after his mother, hired because she was a brilliant immigrant kid from Pakistan who reminded him of himself. Boss, I finished the Sterling Technologies deep dive. Maya's voice crackles through the speakers. The tech is solid. The financials are a disaster. And Catherine Sterling has a reputation problem. Define reputation problem. Arjun sips his coffee, made exactly the way his mother taught him, with cardamom and a touch of cinnamon. Difficult to work with is the nice version. I found 3 anonymous Glassdoor reviews from former employees. All immigrants or people of color. All describing microaggressions and being passed over for promotions. James leans into his camera. If you invest, we're going all in. 500 million. That's massive exposure for an unproven leader. Which is why I need to meet her in person. Arjun picks up his coffee again. Numbers can lie. People can't, not face to face. Priya checks her tablet. I confirmed the meeting 3 weeks ago. 9 o'clock for Seasons Lobby. Her assistant replied, quote, MS, Sterling looks forward to meeting Mr. Mehta. Did you send my photo? I sent your full bio. Forbes profile, company overview, everything. Arjun nods. Good. Then she knows who she's meeting. But here's what he doesn't know. Catherine never reads her meeting briefs. And that assumption is about to cost her everything. And test everything Arjun's parents taught him about dignity, about grace, about rising above the hate without losing yourself. At 8:45, Arjun leaves his apartment. The morning air is crisp. He touches the mezuzah his mother gave him, a Hindu adaptation blessed by her guru, before stepping out the door. Keep him safe, she'd prayed when she gave it to him. Keep my baby safe in this world that doesn't always see him. His Uber is already waiting. At 8:50, Catherine is in the Four Seasons lobby, charming 2 German investors who already told her no last week. Arjun's Uber pulls up to the Four Seasons at 9:05. Traffic on Market Street was worse than usual. He texts Priya, running 5 minutes late. Let Catherine's office know. She replies immediately, already did. You're good. He steps into the lobby. The air conditioning hits him first, that particular hotel cold that smells like expensive flowers and furniture polish. For just a moment, he feels 12 again. Stepping into fancy buildings in Manhattan with his father to use the bathroom because their apartment had no running water. The doormen who'd chased them out. The people who'd clutched their bags when they walked by. He shakes off the memory. That was then. This is now. He's earned his place here. His polo shirt is navy blue, freshly pressed. His khakis have a sharp crease. His white sneakers are spotless. He's dressed exactly how he always dresses for first meetings. Comfortable, authentic, real. The outfit is intentional. A test. A filter. I want to see if they respect my ideas or judge my appearance, he'd told Fortune magazine. What he didn't say, I want to see if they see me as human or just as other. Across the lobby, Catherine throws her head back, laughing at something one of the German investors said. Arjun walks toward them. His leather portfolio is tucked under his arm. The same one his father bought him for MIT graduation, saved for 6 months to afford. Arjun's had it repaired 3 times. He'll never replace it. He's rehearsed this moment. Firm handshake, warm smile, Thank you for taking the time to meet, Miss Sterling. She turns. Her eyes land on him. Her smile doesn't just fade. It transforms into something else entirely. He sees it happen. The calculation. The judgment. The dismissal. She looks at his polo shirt, then his khakis, then his sneakers. She notices his brown skin, his dark hair. He sees her registering his features, making assumptions. When he speaks, she'll hear his accent, the slight lilt on his vowels, the crisp consonants, the rhythm that marks him as other no matter how perfect his English is. Her lip curls. In that moment, Arjun isn't a billionaire. He isn't a Forbes 400 member. He isn't an MIT graduate. He's 12 again, being chased out of a building. He's 18 again, reading the note, "Go back to your own country." He's 25 again, being asked where he's really from. But he's also his father's son, his mother's pride. So he extends his hand and smiles. Ms. Sterling, Arjun Mehta. We have a 9 o'clock meeting about the Series C investment for Sterling Technologies. Can I help you? Her tone could freeze water. Yes, Arjun thinks. You can treat me like a human being. But he says Arjun Mehta. He keeps his hand extended, keeps his voice warm. We have a 9 o'clock meeting about the Series C investment. Catherine looks at his outstretched hand. She doesn't move. Her hands stay clasped in front of her designer purse. A purse that costs more than his father made in a month of driving a taxi. Meta Ventures, right? He tries to keep his voice warm. My assistant Priya confirmed with your office 3 weeks ago. Meta Ventures. Catherine repeats the name like she's tasting something spoiled. Her face twists. I've never heard of it. You've never heard of me because you never looked, Arjun thinks. Because someone with my name, my face, couldn't possibly matter. One of the German investors, a man with silver hair and wire-rimmed glasses, clears his throat. Catherine, perhaps we should. She holds up one manicured finger. Wait. Catherine takes a step closer to Arjun, close enough that he can smell her perfume, something floral and expensive, close enough that he feels his chest tighten. He's suddenly aware of his heartbeat, loud in his ears. I don't know how you got the address for this meeting, but this is invitation only. I was invited. Arjun keeps his hand extended, even though his arm is starting to ache. Pride. Dignity. Never let them see you break. If there's confusion, you can call your assistant. Jenny, right? She confirmed last Tuesday. What I can see, Catherine's voice gets louder, is that you showed up to a business meeting dressed like you're going to a barbecue. Arjun wants to say, I dressed like this when I met Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, all the CEOs who saw past clothes to ideas. Instead, he stays silent. Catherine's eyes narrow. She leans in, and then, where are you from? Originally? The question hits like a slap. Arjun has heard it 1,000 times. 10,000 times. Where are you from? No, where are you really from? What are you? You speak English so well. He's learned to answer politely. I'm from New York, and then watch them get frustrated because they wanted to hear, I'm from India. I'm foreign. I'm other. I'm not like you. But today, in this moment, he can't. I'm from New York, he says quietly. But I was born in Mumbai. I came here when I was 12. I'm an American citizen. Why am I explaining myself? He thinks. Why do I always have to prove I belong? Catherine's tone drips with judgment. And you thought you could just walk into a meeting with serious investors. Serious investors. As if he isn't one. As if his $3.8 billion is imaginary. The German investors exchange glances. The silver-haired man whispers to his colleague in German, Das ist unangenehm. This is uncomfortable. Arjun understands German. Spent a semester in Berlin during MIT. But he doesn't react. Ms. Sterling, he lowers his hand slowly. His shoulder aches. His heart aches more. I understand this is unexpected. But, unexpected? Catherine laughs. It's not a happy sound. What's unexpected is someone like you thinking you can just walk into a meeting with serious investors. Someone like you. There it is. The words hang in the air like smoke. Arjun feels something crack inside him. Not break, he's too strong for that, has survived too much for that, but crack. He thinks of his father, driving his taxi for 18 hours, being called you people. He thinks of his mother, cleaning hospital floors while patients clutch their purses. He thinks of that note at MIT. Go back to your own country. A woman sitting on a nearby couch looks up from her phone. A concierge behind the desk stops typing. Arjun feels the familiar weight settling in his chest, the weight of being seen as less than, the weight of carrying his parents' sacrifices, the weight of representing every immigrant who looks like him. His father's voice echoes, "They can take many things from you, Beta. But they cannot take your dignity unless you give it to them." He keeps his voice level, professional, calm, even though inside he wants to scream. "I flew in from New York specifically for this meeting. If you'd just let me show you my credentials." "Your credentials?" Catherine's voice drips with contempt. She looks him up and down again, slow, deliberate, making sure everyone watching can see her judgment. "You mean whatever fake business card you printed at FedEx?" "Fake. Arjun built an algorithm that Goldman Sachs bought for $780 million. He's invested in 47 companies, saved thousands of jobs, sits on boards with the most powerful people in tech. But to her, he's fake. Because of his skin, his name, his accent." She turns to the security desk. "Excuse me? Can someone help me here?" Two guards start walking over. One is an older black man, Jerome. His face shows exactly how much he doesn't want to do this. The other is younger, white, with a military haircut. Arjun tries one more time. His voice is steady, but if you listen closely, you can hear it, the slight tremor. The hurt he's trying so hard to hide. "Ms. Sterling, there's clearly been a miscommunication. I'm a managing partner at Meta Ventures. We manage $3.8 billion in assets. We spoke with your CFO last month about potential investment terms. $3.8 billion. Catherine actually laughs. The sound echoes in the marble lobby. "Right. And I'm the Queen of England." She looks him up and down again, takes her time, makes it a performance. "Let me guess. You saw the article about our funding round in TechCrunch. You thought you'd show up, talk your way into a meeting with that accent of yours, maybe network your way into something. That accent of yours." The words land like stones. Arjun thinks of his mother, teaching him English by streetlight, practicing pronunciation until her voice went hoarse. "In America, Beta, they will judge how you speak. So we must speak perfectly." He learned to speak perfectly. Near native accent. Flawless grammar. But there's still that slight musicality in his vowels. The rhythm of Hindi beneath the English. The cadence he'll never lose, no matter how hard he tries. And she weaponized it. The German investor tries again. His voice is uncomfortable. "Catherine, perhaps." "No." Catherine cuts him off. Her voice is sharp. Final. This is exactly the kind of opportunist we have to watch out for in this industry. She finally looks directly at Arjun's face. Really looks at him. But she doesn't see him. She sees a stereotype. A threat. An outsider. "I don't know what you're trying to pull, but I don't shake hands with people who lie their way into private meetings. And I definitely don't do business with people who can't even dress appropriately or speak proper English." Speak proper English. Arjun's English is perfect. He learned it from textbooks and movies and sheer force of will. He probably speaks it better than she does. But it's not proper because it comes from his mouth, from his face, from a body marked as other. The security guards arrive. Jerome looks at Arjun with apologetic eyes, the look of one marginalized person recognizing another. The younger guard puts his hand near his belt where his radio is clipped. "Ma'am," the young guard's voice is all business. "Is there a problem?" "Yes." Catherine points at Arjun like she's pointing at trash on the sidewalk. This man is disrupting a private business meeting. He's not on any guest list. He's not invited. And he needs to leave immediately. Arjun takes a slow breath. He could pull out his phone right now. Show her his Forbes profile, his board memberships, his bank statements. He could make her feel small the way she's making him feel small. But he doesn't. Because this moment tells him everything he needs to know about Catherine Sterling. She didn't see a potential investor. She didn't see a businessman. She didn't even see a person who deserved basic courtesy. She saw an immigrant with brown skin and an accent in casual clothes, and decided instantly that he didn't belong. His mother's voice echoes in his head. "Beta, you cannot control how they see you. You can only control how you see yourself. I'll leave." Arjun's voice is quiet, calm. But if you look closely, you can see his hands trembling slightly. Just slightly. No need for an escort. He looks at Jerome. "I can find my way out." But Catherine isn't done. "Oh, you'll be escorted. I want to make sure you actually leave the premises and don't try to sneak into other meetings." Sneak. As if he's a criminal. A threat. She turns to the young guard. "Walk him all the way to the street. Make sure he doesn't come back." The guard nods. "Yes, ma'am." "Sir, if you'll come with me." The walk to the door feels like a mile. Every eye in the lobby is watching. The woman on the couch is definitely recording on her phone. The concierge has stopped pretending to work. Business people pause mid-conversation to stare. Arjun keeps his head up, the way his father taught him, but inside, he's 12 years old again. Small. Scared. Other. His steps are measured. Professional. Each one costs him something. Jerome walks beside him, not touching him, giving him space. His face says what his position won't allow him to say. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. At the door, Jerome leans in close. Sir, he whispers, his voice thick with emotion, I'm real sorry about this. You're doing your job. Arjun gives him a small nod. Manages a smile he doesn't feel. I understand. I understand being powerless, he thinks. I understand what it's like to watch injustice happen and not be able to stop it. Jerome's eyes are wet. For what it's worth. I believe you. About who you are. Arjun's throat tightens. Thank you, he whispers. That means more than you know. Outside, the San Francisco morning is bright and cold. Arjun stands on the sidewalk for a moment, letting his heart rate settle. His hands are shaking now. Really shaking. He looks at the Four Seasons lobby through the glass. Sees Catherine smoothing her suit, laughing with the Germans like nothing happened. Like she didn't just destroy him. He pulls out his phone. His thumb hovers over his mother's contact. He wants to call her. Wants to hear her voice telling him he's worthy, he matters, he's enough. But it's 6:15 in the morning in New Jersey. She's sleeping. She's 68 years old, and her body aches from years of hard labor. He won't wake her to tell her that America still sees him as other. Instead, he opens his texts. Priya, boss, what happened? Catherine's assistant just called saying you left. Arjun stares at the screen. His vision blurs. He blinks hard. Change of plans. Cancel the LA meeting this afternoon. Book me on the next flight back to New York. But the $500 million. Priya. His fingers shake as he types. I just got my answer. Book the flight. He puts his phone in his pocket. Looks up at the San Francisco sky, cloudless blue and different. A taxi pulls up to the curb. A Middle Eastern driver leans out. You need a ride, brother? The kindness in that word brother breaks something in Arjun. Airport, he manages. Please. You got it. Arjun climbs in. The driver glances in the rearview mirror, sees his face. Rough morning. Arjun lets out a breath that's almost a laugh. Almost a sob. You could say that. Let me guess. Business meeting that didn't go well? Something like that. The driver nods, understanding more than Arjun said. I know that look, brother. I've had that look. That I'm not good enough because of how I look or sound look. Arjun meets his eyes in the mirror. Yeah, but you know what? The people who can't see past your face to your brain, they're the ones who are stupid. Not you. Thank you, Arjun whispers. You're going to be okay, brother. People like us always are. We have to be. The taxi pulls away from the Four Seasons. Arjun looks back once. Sees the gleaming building, the well-dressed people, the world that still doesn't see him as belonging. Then he turns forward. His phone buzzes. A text from his mother. She's awake after all. Beta, I had a dream about you. Are you okay? Mothers always know. Arjun's eyes fill with tears. He doesn't wipe them away. Not here, in the safety of this taxi with a kind driver who calls him brother. I'm okay, Ame. I love you. I love you more. Come home soon. I'm coming home now. The taxi merges onto the freeway, carrying him away from the Four Seasons, away from Catherine Sterling, away from the moment that just broke his heart a little bit more, but also carrying him toward home, toward his mother, toward people who see him. He'll be okay. He always is. He has to be. Inside the lobby, Catherine smooths her suit jacket and turns back to the German investors with a brilliant smile. I am so sorry about that interruption. You would not believe how many scammers try to crash these events. These people come here thinking they can just. Catherine. Klaus's voice is ice. That was appalling. Appalling? Klaus, you have to be firm with these people. Otherwise they think they can take advantage. These people. Klaus stands, picking up his briefcase. He told you his name. You didn't even check. You just assumed. I assumed correctly. He didn't belong. No. The other German is standing now too. You assumed he didn't belong because of how he looked. Because of his accent. That's racism, Catherine. That's xenophobia. I wasn't being. We're leaving. Klaus's voice is final. And we won't be working with you. Ever. They shake her hand quickly, coldly, and leave. Catherine stands alone in the lobby, watching them go. A A small frown crosses her face. Then she shrugs. She pulls out her phone, texts her assistant. That investor who just left calls himself Meta something. Make sure his information is deleted from our system. Don't want his type thinking they can waste our time again. His type. She has no idea that his type is the only person who is actually going to save her company. And she has no idea that the man she just destroyed, the man whose dignity she just attacked, whose humanity she just denied, is someone's beloved son. Someone's pride and joy. Someone who was 12 years old once, scared and small, promised that America would be different. She has no idea of the weight she just added to shoulders that have carried so much already. And in less than 3 hours, she's going to find out exactly who Arjun Mehta is, and exactly what she's lost. On the plane back to New York, Arjun sits in first class, staring out the window. The flight attendant, a young Latina woman, notices he hasn't touched his breakfast. "Sir, is everything all right?" Arjun looks at her. She has kind eyes. "Can I ask you something?" He says quietly. "Of course. Do you ever feel like, no matter what you achieve, there's always someone who sees you and decides you don't belong?" She sits in the empty seat next to him, which technically she's not supposed to do. But she does anyway. "Every single day," she says softly. "Every single day of my life. How do you deal with it?" She thinks for a moment. "I remember who I'm doing it for. My abuela who cleaned houses so I could go to college. My mommy who believed in me when no one else did." She looks at him. "Who are you doing it for?" Arjun's eyes fill. "My parents. My father who drove a taxi for 30 years. My mother who still volunteers to help immigrant kids learn English." Then you keep going. "For them. And for every kid like you who needs to see that someone.